the coin he's at.
I know. I'm glad he got caught.
Me too.
Yes.
This is another legal note. There's, we knew the Friday before Pride weekend erupted across the nation, usually the last weekend of June, that same-sex marriage was upheld by the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court. So there's a Texas judge. He is so opposed to same-sex marriages that he wants every couple that he marries, straight or gay, to sign a document acknowledging his views. Now, he won't turn these couples away, but he makes everybody sign this waiver saying that he prefers not to perform same-sex marriages. Really? I mean, don't perform marriages.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who's in a public office, takes an oath to uphold the law.
Yep.
And if something, then you should no longer be in that, position.
Mm-hmm.
But I find it fascinating that, so in other words, if he didn't agree with, if he didn't believe decaf coffee should exist, he should write that down. There's got to be other things on there.
Yeah.
I don't care how many people yell and scream that it's discrimination. No, it's the law and it's your personal beliefs, and the beliefs stay in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're public.
Official. And we're the laws have caught up with the bigotry. But but I guess as long as he's making everybody sign it, now it's sort of handy. I do believe that if someone doesn't want to serve someone, do put it on the window so not to go there. Because I wouldn't want to give my money to someone that was going to use it. It's not like I'm going to. It was going to use it against friends of mine and family of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true.
Just put it. Fine, go ahead, put it out there because now if he's making a couple extra $100, a lot of times you tip these guys, or it's another $100, or there's a fee. I certainly don't want my money going there.
Right.
So go ahead, blast it to the world.
Yeah.
It's just perfect. But I'm not sure where the they don't, a judge doesn't have to perform any marriages. I think they just do it,
a lot
as
of
part
them
of
say
the
they like it.
Yeah, they like
it's a nice,
to change. Now, a clerk, that's their job to push paper. Mm-hmm. They just push the paper across and people sign it.
Yeah.
I
know
that's
that last gal was going viral too. I can't remember what city it was. The gal Kim something or other who there was a big story about how she was refusing after the law came into effect to sign marriage certificates for gay couples, and it's like, you've been married 4 times.
Yeah.
In some ways the hypocrisy is
in some counties
amazing.
And some counties aren't even issuing them at all. And then other folks which would be tough in a county if you have a state where you have to get your license in that county. Some places you can get the license in any county, but it is you were not being forced to get married. In that case, if you think you're promoting that person's marriage, everything you do you pay taxes and they drive on the roads. Are you promoting, as they're driving, using the road to go just to do everything?
Yeah.
You could take it to the absurd at that point, which is what they've done at this here.
And I'm with you, Colleen. I'm fine with people, can believe what they want to believe as long as they're law abiding. But I like the disclosure idea with businesses and being able to not send my money towards somebody or a company that supports a practice or something or view that I don't.
And I try and sometimes I'm sure that I have purchased stuff at corporations because that do things that I am opposed to. But if I find out about it, I do my damnedest not to.
Yeah.
Even if it's hard. Mm-hmm. So sad. No more Hobby Lobby for Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or Nestle. Because they're do such awful things with water and formula.
Yeah.
But that's me. Other people, there's a certain things that going through there, and everyone should, in the opposite way too. I'm sure there are folks that don't shop at my stores or don't shop at other places because I'm perfectly fine being an inclusive company.
Yeah. No, yeah. I thought that was an interesting one. And wrapping up the news today, there's an app for that, guys. Mm-hmm. This one is pretty interesting, though. It's called We Consent, and it's an app to record consent for sex.
Well, I suppose, I know that the University of Minnesota had a affirmative consent thing, and they were real close to passing it. Then it stopped by, and we talked about this before, and I'm just not quite sure how that works. I do believe that affirmative consent is necessary in going through. And if someone is passed out or drunk, they're not capable of it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how you prove a negative, you know what I mean? Unless you stop you set an alarm every 15 minutes to go, yes, we still consent. Yes, we still consent.
Yeah.
It's a little, I just don't know how it works. You have all these theories and they all sound good, but I just don't know how in reality how stuff like that works.
My big problem is it perpetuates the myth that it is common for women to give consent and then rescind it after the fact. Mm-hmm. That's not a sweeping problem across our nation where women willingly have sex and are like, oh, just kidding, you're a rapist.
Yeah.
And this is really perpetuating that myth that this is a problem. And it's like, no, that's not what happens. Women often claim they were raped when they were raped. Mm-hmm. The societal punishment you have to go through if you to when you admit you're a victim is not worth whatever revenge you think you might be able to get on someone. And I think that's the big flaw with these kind of things.
That's a really good point. The article talks about, we're just trying to, this is a capitalistic view of the situation. Mm-hmm. Clearly, we're just trying to completely convert things over to a yes means yes environment. But like you said, they're capitalizing on a situation which, Megan, might be based on some really faulty reasoning. That's a really good point. Gosh, you're killing it today.
But there's something I think that happened late yesterday in San Obispo, California, that you may have missed because there's so many things, and this involves a Target store that had to evacuate their entire store.
Okay.
Because over the intercom was suddenly the sex noises.
Oh,
and they couldn't figure out where it was coming from.
Damn, I went to Target yesterday. I would have killed to have been there for that.
I just love the fact that that they evacuated the store, and according to the story, they still don't know where the sexually explicit audio came from. So, so I figure it's got to be an employee or someone or a kid who figured out how the intercom worked and brought up something on their phone and held it up to something, but they were unable to locate it. Eventually, stopped. I'm like, they evacuated the store.
That's hilarious.
You're just going around, because I don't know about you, but occasionally I'm bored and I will just go to Target.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't need anything at Target. And if I was at Target and sex noises came over the intercom, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure I would notice. Because when I go past the video room, occasionally they're checking videos and we hear it. It's just... It's not uncommon. If we're checking a movie and they say, and a customer says the audio's not working on it or this or that, well, we have to turn up the audio and find out.
Oh my God.
And so it's not an uncommon thing. I don't think it's ever been, broadcast over our phone's intercom system. But I'm pretty sure. But
would anybody notice?
Yeah, if I was shopping at Target and suddenly sex noises came over the thing, I'd probably I'd go, huh?
Am I at work?
Yeah.
I would only be a little annoyed because I'm like, come on, I'm off the clock.
But I would just really, the evacuating the store just sort of cracked me up. And I have a good friend whose father lives in the area, so I'm going to have to send him a note later on going, what are you people doing in Target down there?
Well, you know what makes me laugh about that, and you're right, evacuating the store does seem, hilarious to us. But you know what? Think about if you're Target corporate and you're like, angry parents, and I know what they're probably pissing themselves when this happened, like,
Yeah, trying to figure out, I'm like, what I want to know is, isn't there the off button? Just go into the office and turn it off?
Unplug something.
Or did we have a Shawshank Redemption kind of situation where the audio room was completely blocked off?
But they say, you always get more than you went in for. when you go to Target. So
Expect
this
more.
was definitely a little more.
Yes, this is but
Oh my
yeah,
God.
all they said really was like sex noises or movie stuff like that. Something, so I still don't know whether or not like some kid set up their phone and had to go into the intercom system, or someone was getting frisky somewhere in the store. There's not a lot of detail here.
I'm really hoping that they were on VOD.fantasygiftsmn.com streaming some of our new online content on their phone.
That could have been it. They just did
And you're going to put the link up on Facebook.
I will for sure. Yes.
Do that.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so we're one of our discussion topics today. We're going to have to save until next week, which is fine. It's an evergreen sort of deal. This one's a little more hot off the press. You guys follow the little story between Ciara and Russell Wilson, star quarterback, about how they're a beautiful couple and blah blah blah, and they're abstaining. Have you heard about this?
No.
So they decided to so they're not sending. Is it a college player or an NBA player who used to be? Okay, I don't know.
This is NFL.
I'm not a sporty person, so I'm trying to decide what the ages are here.
Yeah. No, this is like Super Bowl stuff here,
Okay.
and I mean they're just a crazy. Beautiful, couple. Here's the hilarious thing. She's had a son with a previous relationship, and he was previously married for 2 years. But this is something that they are embarking on. It's a choice that they're making for themselves right now. And, that's fine. I'm down with that. But the man that she had the son with, he's a rapper, hip-hop star guy named Future. Do you know him, Megan?
No.
Future? Okay, yeah, I don't know him either. But he was on one show, and he said, well, God never specifically told me to wait for sex, but Ciara and I went ahead and did it, and then we prayed after. Amen. That's fine. But there's a...
Well, I suppose if you're, a semi-public figure and you're going to make a statement like this, you're going to invite comment.
Yeah.
It's going through there. I mean, good for them, I guess. Maybe it's just a way to bring a little bit more mystery and romance into
Are they
life.
married or are
No,
they?
they're dating right now.
Okay, so in theory, they're waiting till they're
Married.
married,
Are
if
they
that's
engaged?
the possibility.
I don't see that in here. It's just that they're both kind of so high profile at the moment, him coming off the Super Bowl and everything, that that this is making big news. But the New York Times did a great article. It's really, really long, but it's interesting. But I grabbed a couple highlights about this trend of celibacy, not even just within the celebrity world, but they featured two people. Now, one guy was like, hey, I'm a 36-year-old playwright, and it allows me to take a break from objectifying people. And so he kind of explains that, when he gets in his zone with that he can sometimes wake up in a state of ethereal joy. And I'm like, well, that's called blue balls, dear, but never mind. Anyway, he said it has helped him manage his mental state better. But he doesn't live by it consistently. And he said you can only really do this and be successful with it if you have the belief going in that it's not wrong or evil to have sex. He goes, if you're one of those people that has guilt ashamed with it, this is not going to be something that's going to help you fix it. Which I thought was smart.
No, I think plenty of people do. I mean, they're just they're not. They decide that the constant prowl to just have sex, is too time consuming, and so they're just going to take a break.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, and they're just gonna leave their live their lives, and if all the energy isn't going towards getting laid all the time, I probably accomplish a lot of other stuff. And then if they're gonna run across and then they run across someone, that's fine, But I'm just taking a break.
But it's very true with the guilt. I mean, trying to use guilt as a motivating factor for anything does not work.
You ask anybody that went to Catholic school. Okay, so that said, so you just marched right into the other person that was featured in the article, and this slayed me. But it makes sense. Okay, this is a gal. She's was 43 when she made the decision to go celibate. Her name is Heidi Seck. And she said she realized that the amount of money she was spending on her dating life with the clothes, the nails, the hair, splitting the cost of the romantic getaways, dinners, and she had some serious debt. And she said that her financial planner decided dating was expensive and suggested she take a break from dating.
So this was New York, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I can. Yeah.
So,
everything.
and by the way, there's a survey that TurboTax, the company that the online company, found that even when a man pays for the actual date, the woman ends up spending more money than he does. 65% of women spend more than $50 before a date.
Well, leg